Welcome everyone. Once again, our distinguished guests, our distinguished visitors from all over Abuja and especially from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Would like to welcome the university community, the senior staff of the university, our dear students, to this very special occasion this morning. Can we please welcome our guest of honor as he takes his seat. The Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired OFR, but not tired. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome. Can you please celebrate our August visitor in this month of February? You are welcome, sir, to the great U of A of Nigeria. You are welcome, sir. Please permit me to invite others. Can we please celebrate our Deputy Vice Chancellor, representing the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Abdul Rashid. Please permit me to invite other people to join our distinguished guests on the head table. Then we'll go right ahead and take the national anthem together. Can you please welcome with me to the high table the representative of the Honorable Minister of Education. Please welcome her, Mrs. Okereke, Deputy Director, Guidance and Counseling. Can you just please clap some more as she makes her way towards the head table? You are welcome, Madam, the representative of the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Education. Can you please welcome with me this morning to our great university, the representative of the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Mr. Osayande Osamu Diamen. Please put your hands together. Welcome him to. So I would like you to come sit with our special guest. Please clap some more as he makes his way to the high table. Also to take his seat over there is the representative of the Executive Secretary, TET Fund. Representative of the Executive Secretary, TET Fund this morning. Can we please welcome him or her if he's around? Otherwise, later we'll still recognize him when he arrives. Okay, can you please also welcome with me the representative of the United Nations Office for Drugs and Crime. The representative, representing the country director. Okay, still put your hands together. We recognize them, they are partners, so put your hands together for them. All right, I would like to also welcome our own to the high table, the Dean, Student Affairs, University of Abuja, Dr. Kari. I think I saw him a while ago. Okay, still clap. I'm sure he will be back. Please clap for him. Please welcome with me to the high table, the Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor Ben Umoru. Please welcome my dear uncle. Are you okay? No, we want to hear, sir. Okay. All right, thank you so much. Can you clap and celebrate him? All right, last but not the least, while we wait for others to come, please help me celebrate a very strong woman, the one who, is in charge of all this, the Director, Counseling and Career Services Center, University of Abuja, Professor Patricia Ojia, as she comes to the head table. Please celebrate her. She's doing a lot. Thank you so much. We'll still come back to make the recognitions. Please, can we rise for the national anthem?
www.djshins
crave your indulgence to stand as we take the second stanza of the national anthem together as our prayer this morning. Can we go? It's on page 2 of the program. We'll recite it. Okay, it's projected. Go ahead and look at it on the projector screen. All right, 3, go. O God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, in living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen. Can we put our hands together as we all take our seats? Distinguished invited guests, special guests of honor, members of the high table, are distinguished ladies and gentlemen from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and other partner agencies. The university community would like to welcome you this very afternoon to a special program such as this, the launch of Drug-Free University campaign. I am so excited and delighted to be part of this. I don't know about you. Are you not excited too? That we'll finally see our university free of drugs. If you are happy, can I see you clap? All right, thank you so much. Would like to recognize some of our guests who are here, especially our partners from the NDLEA. All right, among our guests this afternoon, can we please recognize, he's already seated, but we'll call his name, Otumba Lanre Ikpemisho. He's a special advisor to the chairman, CEO on National Drug Control Master Plan. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. And there are other directors all the way from the NDLEA, Mr. Femi Baba Femi, Director, Media and Advocacy. Can you please clap for him? How many of you have been hearing that name? So can you draw your mask down a bit so that we can see your face? That's Mr. Femi Baba Femi for you. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. Can we please welcome or recognize Dr. Ibrahim Abdul, Director, Assets and Financial Investigation. Could you please clap as we welcome him? Okay, he's up there. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Can we please also recognize the presence of Mr. Sani, Director, Administration and Establishment. Could you please wave? Let's see you and recognize you. Okay. Can you please also recognize with me, last but not the least, Mrs. Chinyere Obi Julu, Director, Planning and Manpower Development. Please welcome my sister and Amazon too. Can you welcome her better than that? We can give her a more rousing welcome. We're glad to have you. Thank you so much. Would also like to specially recognize in our midst a very special woman that I love and respect so much, our very own Professor Ekundaya Ocholi. She's the National President, Association of Professional Counselors in Nigeria. We're glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming. Would like to welcome our special guest again. It's so good to see you, the Chairman, CEO of NDLEA. Glad to see you, sir. You're welcome to the great U of A of Nigeria once again. May I please invite the Director, Counseling and Career Services Center, University of Abuja, this Amazon doing all sorts of things, doing so well to make things happen as she comes to welcome us properly. Okay, she's coming. You know, she has to still be there to supervise things. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Chairman NDLEA, all directors here present, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Our dear students, you are welcome. Great Nigerian students, this program is for you. I'm happy you are here, and I hope others will still join us. I learned that some of them are still fighting for accommodation and several other things. We would have had a bigger crowd, but I'm sure you'll pass the message to them. We are so grateful to have this day happen. We had planned it in January, but for some reasons, we had to move it again to February. We are glad NDLEA has accepted to collaborate with us, because definitely we wouldn't have been able to do this all alone. Yesterday was a great day. The campus was painted around with red caps. Some of you are not with your caps today. I'm sure you are expecting new caps today. We thought you would bring your caps you used yesterday today. Some of you have your caps and some don't. Never mind. Yesterday was great. We went around the campus trying to create awareness, because the menace of drugs cannot be overemphasized. You know what drugs have done to some of your colleagues. Some of you have come out to tell us that there is great need to do this because you want your colleagues to stop using drugs. And that's why we are doing this. It's not going to end with today's program. A committee already started the meeting yesterday. We held a meeting at 1 o'clock, and we're trying to see what we can do to rid this campus of drug abuse. And we can't do it without your own cooperation. So we appeal to you that after today, when the club has been inaugurated and the committee and the ambassadors have the mandate to go out and work, we'll have better results. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Vice Chancellor, for giving us this opportunity to create greater awareness about drug abuse. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sirs. Welcome, students. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Director, for welcoming us with that sonorous and melodious voice. Director, Counseling and Career Services Center, Professor Ojia. Would also like to welcome all our guests from all over Abuja with this very, very special song on our university. So, sit back and enjoy as we brag and sing about our university. Students, you can join us. You can stand.
University of Unity, citadel of learning and scholarship, perched on a soul rock, the rock of national harmony. University of Abuja, Nigeria center of learning and brotherhood, where people of all tongues and creeds search for knowledge and wisdom. God, to you belong all knowledge and wisdom, protected by this bond of peace, for the service of all mankind. University of Abuja, University of Unity, citadel of learning and scholarship, perched on a soul rock, the rock of national harmony. University of Abuja, making future leaders, molding minds and characters through scholarship and unity. God, to you belong all knowledge and wisdom, protected by this bond of peace, for the service of all mankind. University of Abuja, University of Unity, citadel of learning and scholarship, perched on a soul rock, the rock of national harmony, the rock of national harmony, the rock of national harmony, the rock of national harmony.
Is that how to celebrate our university, the great U of A of Nigeria? Could you put your hands together as we welcome our special guest this morning? Thank you so much. Can you please welcome with me the Dean, Student Affairs of our university. We called you earlier on, sir. Please could you come over and join our special guest students? Can you celebrate your powerful dean? The hard-working, amazing Dr. Carey. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome. All right, representing the bossa of this university this morning in our midst is Mr. Yakubu Yohana Kreni. Please welcome him Thank you so much, and give our regards to the boss, sir. You are welcome. You're all welcome. It's a great day, a great program, the launch of a drug-free university campaign. If you're drug-free and you know it, say amen. I didn't hear amen from all quarters. There are some faces I'm looking at. If you're drug-free and you know it, clap your hand louder. Oh, great, great, great. We'll do one more thing. If you're drug-free and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're drug-free and you know it, shake your body. How can you sit down and shake your body? Okay, put your hands together for yourselves. You're drug-free. Thank you so much. DJ, can you just give us an interlude of 1 minute? We'll be right back. Good to have you here, all in our midst. Can you just play something so that we don't sit down directly? We wanted to just hear you for 1 minute. You already wasted 3 minutes. Okay, so your time is up. Thank you. I thought we'll say something about no to drug. This afternoon, we'll be doing a special thing as we inaugurate the War Against Drug Committee and Club. If you're a proud member, can I see your hand? Just wave your hand. Let everyone see. Okay, I thought that those hands will be higher. It's a good thing to be on the side of war against drug. Because no drug, yes to life. All right, thank you so much. At this juncture, would like to listen to goodwill messages from our special guests. May we please invite the first on the list, the representative of the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Education, as she comes forward. Or can I bring the microphone over there? Are you okay there? Okay. To give, okay. All right. The people who have a strong voice say we can use here because of the recording. Thank you. Please could you welcome Mrs. Okereke, Deputy Director, Guidance and Counseling, to the podium. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy, His Excellency, and the CEO of the NDLA, members of the High Table, permit me to stand on the existing protocols. As we have heard, I am Mrs. Okereke, representing the Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Education. We don't have much to say because the letter to the Honorable, inviting the Honorable Minister to this occasion came in early this morning because we are supposed to have much to say because we've been in this game for a very long time and the Minister has shown so much commitment as long as it is anything about drug abuse. He's always there and he always gives his support. So, bearing that in mind, I think the best things we need to say on behalf of the Honorable Minister is to welcome the University of Abuja into the drug-free, for us, we call it drug-free club, because this has been taking place in Federal Unity College, the 104 Federal Unity College. This club has been there for a very long time. And not just the club, the ministry has been embarking on so many interventions, as long as it has to do with preventing drug abuse. Because at the level of the Federal Unity Colleges, we do more of prevention. And we've been collaborating with the NDLA for a very long time. They are the foundation of the ministry, warring against fighting. In the past, it was fighting, but now it is war. So you can see that it's not an easy thing. So the University of Abuja, you are entering into war, and you know what it means. If you are going into war, you must be a soldier, and your hands must be trained. So, but I want to assure you that with the NDLA you are collaborating with today, you don't have any fear, because they are war ready. So we've been working with them. They've been grooming us all this while. For instance, as I'm standing, I'm the focal point for school-based drug prevention program in the Ministry of Federal Ministry of Education. And I'm a guidance counselor. So in two capacity, I'm standing here. And the Guidance and Counseling and Career Services Center. You are not into small war. But I can see the director, when she was talking, she was poised. So if you are entering into war, you must be poised and be ready for action. So it's not a small thing, because, you know, this thing has eaten up the fabric of our nation, especially the youths. Because no violence, no insurgency, no robbery or whatever, call it any social vice you can think about, underneath is drug. But many people don't know. Some will tell you one kind of cock and bull story, but this thing is not written on the face, but it is doing havoc in our society. We know it. So there's prevalence of everything vice in this country. We know it. So I wish every other university will key into this. Because at the secondary school level, we are doing this. We are trying to catch them young. If they enter university and they find out that the same thing that we are talking at the secondary school level is there, we are now ensured there is continuity. Because anything you are doing, there is no continuity, you may not go far. So, but with this, in fact, in my report to the minister, I will include it. Even if it means to say every university must have a drug-free club or become drug-free university. That will do this country a world of good. So I want to congratulate the University of Abuja. I want to congratulate the Vice Chancellor and the amiable director, Professor Ojia, and the students, because if you people don't agree, it will not work. So by the time they finish with you, the NDLA working with you, because they will be monitoring what you're doing. They don't just train you and they leave you. They will be part of the, in fact, they are the lead agency doing the war, for the war. They will be monitoring what you are doing. And by the time they finish with you, you will develop in you attitudes that will enable you to say no to drug, because it's not easy. Say no to drug is not just easy. You must develop an attitude that will remove that vulnerability that predisposed youths to drug, and you'll be able to say no to drug. So I want to congratulate every person here, and especially our the Excellency, because since he came into this business, it has taken a different dimension. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mother from the Federal Ministry of Education. Thank you for those very encouraging words. Truly, how to fight against drugs. she has told us you have to be soldiers. How many of us are ready to be soldiers against drugs? How many of us are ready to be soldiers against drugs? Good to see you. I just took your picture, so I'll remind you. So thank you so much for raising your hand. All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Okereke, for those kind words. Can we please invite the representative of the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, as he brings goodwill message from the Commission. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor, sir, and our amiable general, men at the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't want any permission to stand on the existing protocol because the neck might go broken. So I'd like to commence as I'm led. Thank you so much. Great students, you are the reason why we're here. If you are not there, we won't have a Vice Chancellor. If you are not there, we won't have Deputy Vice Chancellor. If you are not there, we won't have Dean of Students. If you are not there, we won't have anybody called staff in the university. It's only when you are there, we're also here. And my joy today is that the man I knew when I was much younger is also here today. I saw he came in. I was looking to see the usual thing I see on television, Babariga. He came in like a youth, like one of us. Please give me a round of applause. One thing drug does to human being, it makes you get old, very old, even while you are youth. Any of you who knew him, you cannot believe his age. Somebody sitting here. So, drug is not where you should belong. NUC as an entity has taken a position on this issue of drug far back 2007 during education reform. If there's anything that is an epidemic today in our society, it is drug. Until we are able to curtail it, we are going nowhere. So it is on that premise the National Universities Commission enjoins all universities, whether state, federal, or private, you are expected to have guidance and counseling unit where students are advised against drugs. I'm happy today that our general is here. The NUC already had a plan to do awareness in 6 geopolitical zones. Maybe, sir, you will help to collaborate with us so that we will be effective. We want to talk to our students and see how they can be a change agent. Because what you are doing here is what you do tomorrow in the society. Personally, we are not surprised to see that some people who are in the National Assembly, they still jump fence and begin to engage in physical combat. It's a result of what they did in the school. It's drug related. So because if you go the right way, you first of all think of your integrity, your children, where you come from. You won't be able to go to soil your name. So we at the NUC are very, very sensitive about this issue. We want our children to be children that can represent us anywhere in the world. that you are a student is not a liberty for you to do otherwise. Whatever that is not genuine is not genuine. Whatever drug that is not meant for your head, it will definitely have negative effect on your life. So on behalf of the Executive Secretary of NUC and the organizers of this program, we are indeed delighted and happy to be part of it. I must, by a way of emphasis, say that this kind of program should be given a preference to hostel accommodation. One had thought that this place will be filled to the brim because we are talking to students. The problem of the university administration today is students. They are students. Because we all came from different backgrounds. Some of us are Christians, some of us are Muslims. Some of us don't belong to the two. And we meet here. So I want to, advise that subsequent gathering of this nature, if it is going to be a free lecture day, so be it. So on that note, we say thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, sir. Can you please clap some more for our Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission? Did you hear that? That's the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission. They are our parents. So, University of Abuja, can you please celebrate him, the representative of the Executive Secretary, NUC. Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging words. It's glad to, it's a delight to announce and also to know that our great U of A of Nigeria from today will also be called Drug-Free University. Students, can I hear you say that one more time? Drug-free. I can't hear you. Can you pronounce the words carefully? Say it again. And the war, you and I are involved in the war. Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Admin of the University, Professor Abubakar Sadiq. It's my honor and privilege to bring up a guest of honor to the podium. When we're thinking of today, and I was telling some of my students about the program today, and I told them the whole of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is coming. So if you know you have any skeleton in your cupboard, better put it, hide it somewhere, because he's coming with armored tanks, armored vehicles, a soldier to the core, involved in this very, very important warfare against drug abuse in Nigeria. Okay, you know what? I just can't wait to have the special guest of honor come up. Right before he comes, can you put your hands together for our chairman and the CEO, NDLEA? But before he comes, thank you so much. We're going to have a short video. So the multimedia, over to you.
Jesus Christ.
I am going to now. Don't open your eyes.
Smoking cracks, rolling weeds and popping pills gives pleasurable moments. Holding the spoon to the flame and sticking the needle to the skin boosts your confidence. Bravo! Every penetration gives you elation. Welcome to the cool gang. Welcome to the high. Feel, just like the wind, the thrill is gone again too soon. The joyride is short-lived. You only lived in a bubble for minutes, hours, or probably just a day. Soon you begin to crave for more. Shortly, you will try to find the spoon, the needle, and pop in more pills again. A new soul is birthed into darkness. The search for the next victim never stops. Cocaine, hemp, weed, cracks, meth, tramadol, codeine, ice and heroin are always on the prowl hunting for the next victim. But are the drug lords on the winning side and smiling to the banks? Is it still business as usual for illicit trafficking of narcotics? Will Nigerian youths remain trapped in the toxic brew of drug addiction forever? Is the future bleak? No.
It is the task of NDLEA to stop all this unacceptable nonsense of drug abuse, drug trafficking in Nigeria.
There is a new sheriff in town. Nigeria's anti-drug czar, retired Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, is leaving no stone unturned. The heat is on. A non-stop action with a new maxim, offensive action, has been launched against the criminal lot involved in drug trafficking across the country. The illicit drug world is in distress. The cartels, the drug lords, the criminals, the junkies and all emotionally indifferent monsters benefiting from this evil nexus are unsettled. It is no longer business as usual.
In 12 months,
a well-armed and trained strike force has just been established to beef up the agency's enforcement capabilities. Also, the visibility of the agency for local and international partnerships has been restored. Although the war against illicit drugs is not a walk in the park, the NDLEA is gradually winning the war. Presently, the agency is attracting international support such as the donation of operational equipment and technical assistance by the UNODC, the EU, the US, the UK, the French government and others.
Can we please clap some more and celebrate the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency? Thank you so much, sir, for all you're doing for our nation, for our youth. It's such a pleasure to have you come with the full weight of NDLEA to the great U of A of Nigeria, not to make arrests, but to inspire us to join in this very all-important fight. Thank you so much once again, sir. I'd like to crave your indulgence as I recognize a few more people in our midst. Please help me celebrate an amazing woman in the NDLEA, Dr. Ngozi Madubuike. She's all over the place. She's the Director, Drug Demand Reduction of the NDLEA. I think she's busy organizing somewhere. That's why you didn't see her now, but I wave on her behalf. Okay. Please, could you also join me welcome our very own Professor Basi Ubom, Director, Development Office of the University of Abuja. I like that greeting. Thank you so much. I'd like to, at this juncture, welcome the Vice Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor Abdurrashid, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration of this university, Professor Abubakar Sadiq. Welcome our Vice Chancellor, please.
Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. On behalf of Professor Abdurrashid Nalla, the Vice Chancellor of University of Abuja, our University of National Unity, the only public university in the FCT Abuja, I want to welcome you all to this very important occasion. Before I go further, I want to recognize all the team from the NDLEA headquarters, ably led by no other person than retired Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, who I think Nigeria has not been very fair to General Buba Marwa. When Lagos was boiling in the 1980s, Babangida had to pass through sleepless nights and fish out a young military officer who was equal to the task. And that assignment fell on the young shoulders of, I think the then Colonel Buba Marwa, and he did a very wonderful job in Lagos. He fought armed robbery. He brought armed robbers activities to a standstill, and he equally launched a no-nonsense, all-right war against infrastructural decay in Lagos. He succeeded. And today also, when Nigeria is on her knees under the great challenge of drug abuse, now the present government had to go out of its own thinking box to look for a Nigerian, even though retired, but was forced to come back and now lead in this very important war. And we wish and pray Allah in His mercies will be able to guide him and give him success. Because the fight against drugs is a fight. They say it's no longer a fight, it's a war. The war against drug abuse is a war for all. Because it involves every one of us in Nigeria. It should involve every one of us in this country. So we pray in this university as a community that Allah and the entire Nigerian nation will be strongly in support of you, sir, in order to succeed in this very important task. I want to equally acknowledge the presence of the most vibrant dean in the history of deans in this university, Dr. Umar Kari as a Dean of Student Affairs. We remain grateful. His leadership as Dean of Student Affairs brought a lot of innovations, and I believe the students are better off. And in the spirit of this particular familyhood, I am very hopeful that the war against drugs will be fought and won. I don't want to stop this thing without at least, because the Vice Chancellor specifically asked me to thank the Director, Guidance Counseling and Career Services Center of this university, our able professor. Why? I don't know why she is. So I think you should give her 3 bosses. Yeah, she is an Amazon. She's doing an excellent job. Yeah, so yeah, she is here. So I believe what she is doing in the University of Abuja is very unique, is very commendable, and is worthy of celebrations. We are going to celebrate her. We are going to celebrate you in this club. The management of this university is going to give this club special attention and special consideration. Yes. And it is our hope that you too will reciprocate this very good gesture by now going out of your special ways in order to at least post not only success stories, but I believe you'll be able to, at the end of the day, give this university a very healthy certificate from NDLEA that University of Abuja is a drug-free university. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Admin, Professor Sadiq, representing the Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Abdurrashid Naala. Thank you so much, sir. I hope you were very happy to hear those words of commitment. The university is set to do awesome things and stand by you and I as we join in this very, very important war. Can you clap those hands once again? All right. It's my singular privilege this afternoon to bring to this podium a master, a great man. You know, I used to stand in awe of the name of, I remember then, General Marwa, those days, and it's good to see him in flesh this morning. Can you please welcome with me this morning this afternoon, we're already in the afternoon, sorry, we started in the morning, this afternoon. Please welcome with me, wow, the Chairman, CEO of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, also the former military administrator of Borno, Lagos states, respectively, as he's standing before us to teach us how to fight. So I came dressed in my warfare regalia. So I want to learn to fight this war. You are welcome, sir.
The representative of the Honorable Minister of Education, the representative of the Executive Secretary of NUC, representative of the Vice Chancellor, the Dean of Student Affairs, directors of the NDLEA, great Nigerian students, all other protocols observed. I am highly delighted today to be part of this very important occasion of the launch of the War Against Drug Abuse, WADA, club, on the campus of the University of Abuja. When the esteemed Vice Chancellor visited our headquarters recently, I told him that I'll be here in person, not represented. And I'm happy to be in your beautiful campus. This is my first visit to U of A. I would first like to express my profound appreciation and commendations to the VC and the Counseling and Career Services Center of the university for finding it imperative to sensitize the students and the entire university community on the devastating consequences of substance use and the way forward. The theme, drug-free university and tertiary institutions, is apt and timely, as there is no better time than now to combat the drug challenge in the university community and among students. The menace of drug use is of worrisome dimension. This is even as government has put in place measures in line with international conventions to counter this growing challenge among our youths. The abuse and trafficking of drugs is a global problem, and Nigeria couldn't have been insulated from this scourge. This was why the NDLEA was established and charged with the responsibility of enforcing laws against the cultivation, processing, sale, trafficking, and use of narcotics and psychotropic substances, and to investigate persons suspected to have dealings in drugs and other related matters. Since then, the agency has not relented in its efforts at reducing the use and trafficking of drugs. But the truth on ground indicates that our society needs to do more. The National Drug Use and Health Survey of 2018 showed that Nigeria has a peculiar drug use prevalence. At 14.4%, the country's drug use prevalence is almost 3 times the global average of 5.6%. And what is worse, the abuse of drugs cuts across all ages, gender, socioeconomic status, and regions. As revealed by statistics from the survey, 14.3 million Nigerians aged between 15 and 64 have used psychoactive substances, while 10.6 million abused cannabis, and 4.6 million others abused pharmaceutical opioids such as codeine, tramadol, and morphine, among others. Away from figures, the facts have alarming human angles. For instance, the survey revealed that 1 out of every 4 drug users is a female. And it is instructive and worrisome to know that drug use was common among those aged 25 to 39 years, while the age of initiation was 22 years for heroin and 19 years for cannabis. Note that these age groups comprised of young people who are either in secondary or tertiary institutions or are on the cusp of graduation. To simplify the report of the survey, young people are overwhelmingly the majority of drug abusers in Nigeria. That is a jolting reality because youths are the building blocks of every developed nation, and anything that affects the youth population affects the nation. The youth population constitutes the country's workforce, and the stronger the youth of a country, the more developed that country would be. One then wonders what will become of Nigeria with about 70% youth population if the future of its youths is ravaged by drugs. To aggressively reverse the trend, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari launched the War Against Drug Abuse, WADA, WADA. He launched this campaign on 26th of June last year to commemorate the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Drug Trafficking. The goal of WADA is to mobilize all Nigerians, especially the youth population, for active participation in the process of ridding our society of the drug menace. As one of the worst hit age groups by the drug menace, Nigerian youth are critical stakeholders to the attainment of the laudable goals of WADA. Since the launch of WADA, the agency has initiated evidence-based prevention activities, which include focused advocacy, drug awareness campaigns, sensitization, treatment, and care of people who use drugs. We have launched a renewed campaign on intensive sensitization, targeting youths in schools at all levels, as well as youths out of school. Some years ago, the agency opted to address the drug problem among youths by setting up in schools drug-free clubs. The pervasiveness and magnitude of the drug use problem has necessitated the change in the name of the club from drug-free clubs to War Against Drug Abuse Clubs, that is WADA clubs for short. This is to inject a renewed vibe and vigor into the club and its members. Ladies and gentlemen and students, today NDLEA is here to officially launch the WADA club in the University of Abuja and to formally inaugurate the War Against Drug Abuse ambassadors, WADA ambassadors, among the staff of the institution. The main objectives of the WADA Club includes the following: to prevent the use and sale of illicit drugs in schools and institutions, to promote alternative activities to involvement in drugs, to increase the knowledge of members on the dangers associated with the use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, to increase the knowledge of members on the dangers associated with the use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. I repeat. And then to persuade those using drugs to seek help and equip students with necessary skills that will enable them to resist pressure to use of drugs. These listed objectives can only be achieved through the execution of laudable activities that will promote drug-free lifestyles in educational institutions, which will invariably enhance learning. The ambassadors, comprising of the academic and non-academic staff of the university, are to act as good role models to students by leading and living by example. The role of WADA ambassadors is to supervise, encourage, and support the club to ensure that the goals of the WADA campaign are achieved within the university community and its environs. Part of the measures to reduce drug use in the university is the proposed introduction of the drug integrity test for both new and returning students, the drug test. The drug test is anticipated to metamorphose into an anti-drug policy for all higher institutions of learning in Nigeria. It is expected that the University of Abuja, being the University of National Unity, will be the first public university in Nigeria to adopt the drug integrity test for fresh and returning students of the institution. The drug test is not a punitive measure. Rather, it is an early detection tool to ascertain an individual's drug use status for appropriate intervention and timely treatment and care. This will also entail that the university will develop a drug policy and make such available to each student. Equally important is that we in the NDLEA are thinking of creating an outpost, an NDLEA outpost on campus, where we will deploy our men to assist the authorities to deter drug dealers and users within the university. We are working on this. It is commendable to know that the University of Abuja has a functional counseling and career services center which attends to the psychological and emotional needs of the students, including those struggling with drug addiction. There is a need to give necessary support and care to those who are already hooked on drugs to get out of the habit. As such, I would recommend the establishment of guidance and counseling centers in all universities which are yet to establish such. To the students, I charge you in the spirit of true patriotism to desire and work towards a country devoid of drugs and its attendant consequences. We must be agents of change, and the change we desire in others must start from us. We must use all of our talents to serve our country and fatherland. The Nigerian youth must be in the right state of physical and mental health, as well as sound intellectual condition to adequately contribute to national development. Now, students, are there anyone who hope to be presidents of Nigeria in the future? Raise your hand. Thank you. Vice chancellors of universities, raise your hands. Ministers, governors, ambassadors. Yes. You will be all those things and more if you work hard, pray hard, and say no to drugs, and say no to drugs. The launch of the WADA Club is a significant gesture that the students, staff, and indeed the entire University of Abuja community has joined in the campaign against drug abuse. A drug-free Nigeria is no longer a mirage. It is a goal that can and must be accomplished. Together, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we can make it. I repeat, together, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we can make it. Good luck, and thank you for listening.
Wow, can we please give a standing applause and ovation to our special guest? Please, I would like to crave your indulgence. We'll just go straight ahead to launch the club. So, can we please invite the members of the committee? Can you be militant in your march? Just march forward. You know yourselves, members of the committee, step forward as guest of honor, performs this very important function. Just march, be very militant. I can see some of you are smiling. This is a war. Behave like soldiers. Okay, just come and can you stand in rows of 10? Put your hands together as these very special volunteers come forward. I'd like you to celebrate them some more, celebrate them, encourage them as they will take their oath. Clap, clap, clap. They are still coming. They are still coming. They are coming. that your club is going to spur them on. This is a very, very important fight, so please keep clapping for them. We'd like to encourage them. May we please ask our special guest of honor?
Go ahead and read what you have before you.
You have a piece of paper in your hand? Okay, so they should go ahead and take the oath, and then after that we'll do the decoration. Oh, okay, so go ahead with the oath. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, can we do this properly? Just take a look at you. All of you have the piece of paper? Go ahead, read. So 1, 2, 3, go. All right, thank you so much. Can you clap for them once more? Please, would like to invite the Vice Chancellor's representative to support our guest of honor, Professor Abubakar Sadiq, as he decorates the members of the club and the committee. Would also like to invite Dr. Ngozi Madubuike. Please come forward and support our special guest of honor, and also the Director, Counseling and Career Services of the university, Professor Ojia, would like to also have you. And Chief Lanre Ikpe Misho, please could you come, sir, and also support our guest of honor in this. May we please also invite the Director, Development Center, Professor Chief Basi Ubom. Please also come forward and support us, especially. Can you come nearer? Come nearer. Okay. He says you should put on.
It's at the back.
The chairman, CEO, and said you can wear your beret. I think that they're looking for how to put it on. Can you use your 2 hands and wear it properly? It's a beret. Use your two hands and wear them well.
Okay, can you all climb?
She don't wanna me say you go beat us, and the only thing. And when you hug, you go do 'em like you go them. And you go say I am feeling like to run. And when you run, that's where them go they talk. And when you sell it, that belly go say, in mama wanna move. In papa wanna move. Stop it, I'm waiting to worry you. Today, I already bought my suit. The honeymoon for before Takwa, but you know, yeah, in mama wanna move.
Thank you. The ambassadors, please. If you have not gotten the pin, please come to me.
Behold the ambassadors, University of Abuja, ambassadors of war against drug abuse. Can you clap for these young ambassadors? WADA committee and club. Please clap for them as they make their way back to their seats. All right, these are members of the committee. The director, counseling and career services will come and call out the names of the ambassadors.
Dean Student Affairs.
Respect, Felix King.
The DVC admin is already here. Professor Ocholi. The bossa. Professor R.A. Hamzat. Johanna Yakubu. Okay. Director, Counseling and Career Services. Mrs. Ifoma Ekma. Professor Ben Umaru. Those present here. No, you're not in this.
All right, behold the ambassadors of the war against drug abuse. Can you also clap for them as they are decorated? Are they going to be decorated? Okay, as they take a picture with the guest of honor. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Admin, the Dean, Student Affairs, Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor E.F. Ocholi, Professor Hamzat, Mr. Johanna Yakubu, and Professor Ojia.
Naigo, nai mekaki, mungu gaga. City fool, onyala. David Jones, David.
Okay, can you clap for our guest of honor as he still goes on ahead with the decorations? Please clap for them as they return to. Okay, take a picture.
She don't wanna me say you go beat her. Say not the only thing when they make me high. And when he high, he dey do I'm like he crocodile. And he go say I am feeling like to run. And when he run, that's when them go they talk. And when he
put your hands together for them as they go back to. We would like to please still ask our guest of honor to would like to honor you. We are in of honor, so we have a
suit.
Could we just ask the Vice Chancellor's representative, the DVC admin, Professor Sadiq, to please come back and present our August visitor in the month of February. Little gifts and tokens
I think I don't beg you, banana bastard. I see you every day, you take them like a custard. If I'm having you, I'm mad. Start banana before you feel me so sad. When it starts, he go do you like the crocodile. And you go say, I am feeling like to run. And when you run, that's when them go they talk. And when it's shell, that belly go say, in my mama wanna move. Stop it, boy. In papa wanna move. Stop it, boy. Now waiting they worry you. If you don't marry before today, I already bought my suit. Only move for before Takwa, but you know, yeah.
And most particularly, the most vibrant club today in this university, Wada Club of this university, we want to present this beautiful gift to His Excellency, the Administrator and CEO of Nigerian Drugs and Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, and welcome once again to our university. Thank you, sir.
we have a manual for the drug-free clubs, which will be distributed now to each of them. I would like to present one copy of the manual and the constitution of the WADA club. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guest of honor. We celebrate you and honor you, sir. Thank you, sir. May we please call the Vice Chancellor, Professor Abdulrasheed Naala, to please come back. We have a token also for you as we invite the representative of the National Universities Commission. Okay, he is still talking with our guest of honor. May we please have your attention, sir? Representative of the ESNUC. Okay. We're sorry to take your time, sir. Thank you so much, sir, representing the National Universities Commission. Would like you to present this little token to our Vice Chancellor. So you are the recipient.
This is a remarkable event. The presentation is to the glory of God and to the benefit of University of Abuja and the recipient. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for presenting the award. Would like to honor our Vice Chancellor for his support and for everything he's doing to make the U of A world-class and also a drug-free university. We also have some awards, some other awards here. Would call the recipients to please come forward. Please, may we invite the representative of the Honorable Minister of Education, Mrs. Okereke, as she comes to present this award to be presented to the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, ably represented by Mr. Osayande. Here is the award, ma'am. Please, where are the photographers?
On behalf of the University of Abuja, this is a token to be remembered and to remember this day especially.
May we please ask the Honorable Minister to remain standing, and also Mr. Sayande to also remain there and present her own award. So this is an award of recognition to the Honorable Minister of Education, Adamu, ably represented by the Deputy Director, Guidance and Counseling, Mrs. Okereke.
Well, we know the University of Abuja for their hospitality. A token has gone out of them. We also wish that the beneficiary will use it to the glory of God.
Thank you so much, sir. Can you please clap for them? This is in recognition of their tireless efforts. Thank you so much. May we please invite the next awardee, Professor Suleiman Bogoro, ES of TED Fund. I think, can the director please receive this award? We need someone to accept this award on his behalf. Okay, Director, Counseling, Career Services, please come receive the award. May we please invite Chief Lanre Otumbasa Ikbimisho to please help us present this award.
May I, on behalf of the university community, University of Abuja, present this to a distinguished gentleman, Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, for the great work he's doing in TED Fund for Nigeria Universities.
Thank you so much, sir, for honoring us. We're grateful. We're grateful. All right, the next awardee is Mr. Oliver Stope, Country Representative, United Nations Office for Drugs and Crime. Okay, I think he's not here. So please can Dr. Ngozi, could you please come receive this award on his behalf? As I invite our Dean of Student Affairs to come present the award, Dr. Kari.
To the glory of God, I hereby present you this award on behalf of the organizers of this. Thank you.
Please remain standing, sir, and help us present hers. This is an award of recognition to you, Dr. Ngozi Madubuike. Thank you so much for everything you have done. Thank you so much.
It's my honor and privilege to present this award to you, Dr. Ngozi Antonia Madubuike, on behalf of the organizers of this. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to respectfully invite the Director, Counseling and Career Services of the University of Abuja as she receives an award of honor and recognition for her selfless service. May we please invite Dr. Ibrahim from NDLEA to help us present this award. Okay. The Vice Chancellor is also coming to, okay, wow, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The DVC, the Dean of Student Affairs, they are all coming out to celebrate with our Amazon. Okay, Dr. Ibrahim. You loud and clear. Thank you so much, sir. Please, could you please put your hands together for all our award recipients this afternoon? Put your hands together again for our ambassadors. I'd like you to also put your hands together for our DA Club members. Look at them beautifully dressed in their red berets. All right, to show that we are not just talking, we are ready to walk the talk. At this juncture, may I please respectfully invite again the chairman, the CEO of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired OFR.
Just a short message. Let me again congratulate the Vice Chancellor and indeed the entire university community for this achievement. While wishing you well and wishing you success, we cannot leave you empty-handed. You need something to spark the fire that will lead ultimately to a drug-free university community. We would be giving a grant to the WADA Club of 250,000 naira.
Whoa! Are you sitting down, WADA Club?
Make sure
Can you listen?
you use it properly in advocacy and in your work. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We are so grateful for your kind gesture. And I promise on your behalf that we'll use it judiciously to do this work. Am I speaking your minds? I hope so. Say again, yes. Can you stand up again and give 3 bosa to the general? Thank you so much, sir. All right, we've been sitting down. We need to stretch our legs and relax a little bit. So for the next 5 minutes or so, I'd like to invite our performers from the Department of Theatre Arts to just speak to you a little bit more. You know, sometimes you need to hear these words verbally. You also need to see the images as well as the graphic representations. So could you put your hands together as our students come forward? Your time starts now.
Going to school, so you ought to go to school too. Oh,
Mama, it's okay.
It's okay. I'm not crying. Tom,
Yes, Mama.
see, very, very important. See, when you get to that your university, when you get to that university, no follow bad boys and girls. So, no follow bad boys. Run if they come to you. Run. Run to your principal and your proprietress. JB, there is principal and proprietress in university.
No, Mama.
It's what?
We have lecturers, Mama.
Then you just run to them. And very importantly again, if don't take any bad thing, no. Don't take drug that doctor did not give you. No, what's that thing? What's that word that doctor did not do what?
Prescribe.
Bam. Don't take it. Please, if you are sick, run to school clinic. Let the doctor give you paracetamol. Yes, don't take what they did not, that word for you. Yes. Don't take it. Oh, Tom, wherever you find yourself in that university, remember the road you are coming from. Wane Thomas.
Yes,
Wane Thomas.
Mama, it's okay. I will remember, Mama.
It's okay. Wait. Just take this little token, oh. I know that my God, the God that I serve, He will see you through. I'm gonna go. Let me not cry too much. Just be going. Eh? Oh, Tom. Tom. Oh, yeah, go. My God be with you. I know you will make me proud.
And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know I am. Can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your lies. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know I am. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know who I am. Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
Thank you so much, the Department of Theatre Arts, for this very emotional presentation. They have said it all. Say no to drugs. That is the only way you can live. No to drugs, yes to life. Let's say it together. You need to say it and mean it. Say it again. Thank you so much. At this juncture, we'd like to take a break from this session, but all of us will remain seated while we have our guests of honor and our Vice Chancellor and our distinguished guests move outside to see the exhibition outside. So please remain seated. It's only the members of the head table that are expected to be part of the exhibition. Thank you so much. Can you please clap and celebrate our guests of honor? retired Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa, our Vice Chancellor's representative, all our distinguished guests from the NUC, Federal Ministry of Education. Thank you so much. We are grateful to have you. Please remain seated. Today is a day that there's still a lot of things for you. So, don't get up from your seats. There's also rice and stew, very plenty.
Naibo, nai mekaki mungu gaga. City fool, onyara. David Jones, David. Naibo, and Codin, Nati Bombo. City fool, onyara. Imama Wanamo. She don't wanna me say he go beat us, and not the only thing when they make me high. And when he high, he dey do I'm like he go dumb. And he go say I am feeling like to run. And when he run, that's how them go they talk. And when he shell it, that belly go say, he mama wanna move. Stop it, boy. He papa wanna move. Stop it, boy. I'm waiting they worry you. Before today, I already bought my suit. The honeymoon for before talk was me, but you know, yeah, in my mama, stop it, you know, yeah, now we day, yeah, I left. Stop it, you know, yeah, now we day. I think I don't I beg you, banana bastard. I see you every day, you take them like a custard. If I'm happy, you want mad. Stop banana before you feel me so sad. When it starts, he go do you like the cocoa. And you go say, I am feeling like to run. And when you run, that's how them go, they talk. And when it's shell it, that belly go say, in my mama wanna move. Stop it, boy. In papa wanna move. Stop it, I'm waiting they worry you. If you don't marry before today, I already bought my suit. The honeymoon for before talk was me, but you know, yeah, in mama wanna move. Stop it, you know, yeah, now we day, yeah, I left. Stop it, you know, yeah. Respect, Felix King.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your time, really. You've been wonderful. You've been so attentive. And I'm particularly proud of the Water Club members. See how comported you are. That's good. Well done. My name is Dr. Ngozi Madubike. I'm the Director of Drug Demand Reduction of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. I'm going to take just a few minutes of your time. I will try and make it very short. So we're just going to talk about drugs. I know you know so much about drugs, but we're just going to remind ourselves of the things we do not know. And then probably during the interactive session, we will learn more from others. That is the essence of this segment. So I'm going to talk about drug abuse, the causes, consequences, and the way forward. It's not going to be a lecture thing. It's going to be an interactive session. Sometimes I will ask questions because I would like to know what you also know. And I would like to also know whether there are some misconceptions that need to be clarified, because that's the essence of this segment of this program. Go ahead. Evidence has shown that young people between the ages of 15 and 35 years are highly involved in drug abuse, in the drug abuse subculture, and even in trafficking and peddling. They are very much active when it comes to selling drugs, peddling drugs, even within the university. And it's worse now because there are so many things that has been introduced into the drug subculture, like some mixtures, experimentations, drugs that do not have a name, but they are very potent. And they act like every other regular drug, but they do not have a name because they mix this and mix this and mix this, and it becomes a concoction that makes them high. And that's what we call the unconventional drugs. When we talk about drugs, what do we actually mean by drugs? Because sometimes when we talk about drugs, some people who are abusing drugs will tell you they do not abuse because of the fact that they do not understand what drug is. So drug is any chemical substance which, when taken into the body, affects the state of mind, mood, and or behavior. So anything that one takes, any chemical substance that one takes by any means, whether by sniffing or by smoking or drinking or inhaling or even rubbing, whatever, and it changes the mood of that individual or changes the state of mind of that individual or make him to behave the way he wouldn't have behaved ordinarily, then that is a drug. And what do we mean by drug abuse? Drug abuse connotes three things. When you take a drug that is not medically necessary, as in the case of taking tramadol, because you want to till the ground faster than every other person, or taking steroids because you want to outwit your competitor, or taking Rohypnol because you want to have access to one girl or the other, things like that. So all those things that are not medically necessary and are taken are drug abuse. We also know that when a drug is legally prohibited by law, it is also, if you take it, you're abusing drug. For example, the cocaine, the cannabis, and heroin. These drugs are illegal in this country, and anybody that takes it is committing an offense. When it is excessively used, as in the case of the socially acceptable drug, if an adult takes a bottle of beer and he goes about his normal business and it doesn't disturb him, nobody's bothered about that. But the moment you take it and you start staggering or start doing things that you wouldn't have done or start talking anyhow, then it becomes an abuse because it has affected the person's state of mind, the person's mood, and his behavior. So what we are saying here is that all these three connote drug abuse. So it's not only when you take cocaine or heroin or when you take cannabis. If you drink alcohol excessively, it is also an abuse of chemical substance. Drug dependency is a relapsing brain disease that changes the functions of the body the brain and the thinking of the individual. That is, it's a situation where the person is now compulsory for that person to take that drug of choice. He can't do, even in the face of danger, even in the face of warning from a doctor. I have seen people who the doctor will tell, stop taking alcohol. Your liver is affected. You are about to have a liver problem. But they will not stop because they are already dependent on that drug. It has negative impact on the individual. When somebody is dependent on drug, it affects the family mostly because relationship will be destroyed, and it affects the community. Because whatever a member of a community does, it affects the other person directly or indirectly. For example, somebody on drug who will want to look for money to get his drug of choice will rob somebody, will snatch somebody's bag or phone or something. So you see that the drug use is already affecting the members of the community. So the use of drug is preventable, but it's advised that you don't even start at all because it is an experience that may last for many years. It takes time before somebody who is on drug is treated. And why is it so? Because you do not use medicine to treat drug abuse. You only use medicine to treat the outcome of drug abuse. For instance, if you're taking drug and you have physical symptoms, your liver or brain or something is affected, the drug that will be given to you is not for you to stop taking drugs. No drug stops anybody from taking drug. The drug that will be given to the individual is because of the ailment that he has, acquired as a result of using drugs. So there is no drug that cures drug abuse, but the outcome, the consequence of drug abuse can be cured. So that is why it's advised that one should run away and not even get involved in drug at all, because it might be difficult for that individual to stop. We want to look at the extent of drug abuse. Each time they talk about youth between the ages of 15 and 35 are into drugs, youth within the school age are into drugs. The data is there. The data that was conducted in 2018 by United Nations Office of Drug Abuse said that about 14.3 million Nigerians are using chemical substances, psychoactive drugs. Psychoactive drugs are drugs that have major action on the central nervous system. They attack the brain. They exert major action on the brain. So they affect the brain, making the individual to behave abnormally, to talk abnormally, or even to damage some major organs of the body. So in 2017, a study that was carried out revealed that 14.3 million Nigerians are using chemical substances other than alcohol and tobacco. So if 14.3 million Nigerians are using psychoactive substances other than alcohol and tobacco, you can imagine when alcohol is added or tobacco is added. That is to say that about 90% of Nigerians are on one chemical substance or the other. And that study also revealed that the 14.3 million Nigerians are between the ages of 15 and 64. And most of them are between the ages of 15 and 29 years, which is the school age year. That is when our youths are in school or they just came out of school. So drug abuse is very common amongst youth who are in school and those who are out of school. Cannabis is the most common drug of abuse because 10.6 million Nigerians admitted that they are using cannabis. And about 4.6 million Nigerians are using prescription opioids, which is the tramadol, the morphine, and the codeine. The codeine that you hear of, which they mix in the cough syrup. About 4.6 million Nigerians are using prescription opioids. Of this figure, about 2.4 million men and women had used cough syrup containing codeine. Out of that 4.6, about 2.6 million of them were using cough syrup that are containing codeine. And the study also revealed that out of every 4 drug users in Nigeria, 1 is a female. This is to say that Drug use in Nigeria is getting out of hand, or is already out of hand. Because I remember when I joined this job in '92, sometimes when we collect data of 1,000 persons, you will not see one female in that data. But now, out of 4 is a female and is using one chemical substance or the other. It calls for action. It calls for very serious action by all of us. 1 in 5 persons who had used drugs are suffering from drug use disorder. And nobody cares about them, people who are using drugs. Although we talk about prevention is very important. And that was what I was saying, that most of them, because it's a relapsing disease, it's a disease that has very high frequency of the individual relapsing. The tendency for that person to relapse is very high with drugs. So it's discouraged, and that is why it is said that you do not even try to use it at all. Because treatment is not there. We do not have treatment centers. We have very few treatment centers. And it is of more concern because women are getting involved. And of all the centers we have in Nigeria, I don't think we have one center that is specially dedicated for women. So it's a big issue for us here in Nigeria. Also listed in the range of drugs are tranquilizers, inhalants, amphetamines, and cocaine. Illicit drugs are drugs that are legally prohibited, while licit drugs are drugs that are allowed by law. But they may have some restrictions with regards to who sells, who buys, and where it is sold. For example, we are aware that there are certain drugs that are called, they are not banned, controlled drugs. They are called controlled drugs that are not sold over the counter. And those drugs, by law, should be dispensed by only medical personnel. But we know that even in our chemists in the village are no chemists. We sell all drugs, irrespective of the fact that they should not be, the law says that it shouldn't be dispensed by anybody who is not a medical personnel. But we see people dispensing such drugs. Can we go ahead? Let's look at the classification of drugs. There are 3 classifications of drugs. All these drugs that I've mentioned, some of them are depressants because they slow down the activities of the functions of the central nervous system. And the stimulants stimulates the activities of the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. Hallucinogens distorts the central nervous system. So it distorts perception. You tend to see yourself as if you tend to see a trailer as a bicycle. When a trailer is coming, you see the individual saying that a bicycle is coming. Some of them, one day I was going to work when I was in Plateau, and by a gutter, there was this boy. He was just standing by the gutter and he spread his hand like that. Gutter. So for him, I was just imagining. So is either he thought he was flying or he was inside the river swimming. So it's either of the two. So that's the work of hallucinogen. You tend to hear voices. You tend to imagine things. Sometimes they bring drug users to our center. He will tell you that the mother wants to kill him. The mother wants to poison him. In fact, look at them. They are talking. They are telling him to run. They are telling him to do this. These are all work of hallucinogens. And for the depressants, I won't go too far. I'll just mention them because I've talked about them. There are benzodiazepines, that is the Valium that you know, the Activam, the diazepam, the Libron, and so on. Then in this class also, you have the barbiturates. They are sedatives, often prescribed for anxiety, sleep disorders, and panic attacks. And in that class, you have codeine, the opium, that is the narcotics, the oxycodone, the heroin, the petidine, methadone, codeine with cough syrup. And also you have the cannabis. The cannabis, the Igbo. I hope you know the cannabis. You know Indian hemp, right? Is there anybody who doesn't know Indian hemp? Is there anybody who have not heard of Indian hemp in Nigeria? Nobody. I believe that everybody knows it. And I believe that most of you must have also seen it. Either the dried one or the fresh one or the oil or something. Because it's very common in Nigeria. We also have the stimulants characterized by their ability to increase alertness and cause behavioral excitement. Sometimes you see somebody who is on stimulant, he's laughing uncontrollably. You now begin to wonder what is making the person laugh. He laughs at everything. For everything you say, ka. So, I mean, what's the problem? It's the work of a stimulant. And sometimes they take it believing that they will be able to do certain jobs, like some farmers. Farmers will take it to be able to cover a lot of hectares of land, or acres of land that they want to farm. And in that class, you have the amphetamine type stimulants, like amphetamine, methamphetamine, cocaine, tobacco, and so on. I've talked about hallucinogens. Can we go ahead? Then we have the unconventional drugs. These are drugs that have no name. Some of them have names, some of them do not have name. And they do not have any restriction, no control, like the glue we use in the house. We use it for our household chores, household things, but yet it's very potent, and some young people sniff it to get some kind of high. You have dry plantain, which they sniff. You also have the lizard excreta, methylated spirit mixed in coke, and so on and so forth. Can we go ahead? That's the dry cannabis leaves. We have it outside there. We have different kinds of cannabis outside there displayed. We also have cocaine. Cocaine is the powdery form. It's white in color, and is made from South America. It's brought in to Nigeria from South American countries. So the issue is, why do people use drugs? Why do people fancy using drugs? What is it that makes them to use drugs? There are several reasons. There is no clear cut as to why young people use drugs, but there are several reasons that make people to use drugs. Some of them are because young people are impressionable, they want to explore, they want to experiment. We've seen cases where we go out for drug talk, and young people will tell you, can I touch it? Can I touch the drug? Can I see? Can I feel it? Can I test it? Because they are very inquisitive. They want to know. They want to experiment. They're very curious. And also, some of them have that genetic disposition to use drugs, and some for health reasons, especially those who are having issues with pain. They use it, probably prescribed by the doctor, but as time goes on, they go buy it by themselves and start using it, and that becomes an abuse. Exposure to negative events like rape, like lack of parental supervision, peer pressure. You want to be like your friend. You do not believe in yourself. You have very low self-esteem. And that's the problem. It's a very big problem amongst young people. Peer pressure is a common factor. You are a good boy as at the time you enter schools. You now start looking at some people, some group of boys. You envy them. You want to be like them. And at the same time, you do not want to do what they do. There's no way. If you want to be like them, there's no way you will not do what they are doing. So the best thing is for you to be yourself. Believe in yourself. You are specially created, and there is nothing under the earth that you cannot achieve, unless if you are not interested in it. Just like my boss said, he said, work hard, pray, and you will become whatever you want to become. You don't have to look at anybody. You don't have to feel that somebody is prettier than you. As far as I'm concerned, in this whole world, I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. I do not know that anybody is existing. If you come closer to me, you will see it in me. I act it. Don't I? You're my staff. I act it. I act like nobody like me. Because I do not have to look like you. And I do not have to do things to please you. Do you understand? Until you know that, until you have very high esteem of yourself, you can't be pressurized to do something you do not want to do. Because when you were leaving your houses, I'm sure parents, guardians would have told you about drugs. They would have told you as you are going into the university, beware of those boys. There are basically two things they tell the girls. And basically one or two things they also tell the boys. For the girls, they say beware of boys and beware of drugs. For the boys, they also say, beware of girls. Don't be too interested in them because it might not all go too well for you. Wait until you have arrived before you start looking at them. And they also tell you to beware of bad friends because of what? Drug, all those other criminal attitudes. So, all I'm saying here is that you need to be yourself, you need to build your esteem, you have to be proud of who you are. Do not bother. If they want to make you who they are, refuse. Tell them no. You don't need it. Drug is not good for you. Poverty, drug availability, which is why the government is fighting tooth and nail to ensure that the drugs are not available because it's a predisposing factor. And then parental substance abuse, where parents are using drugs and they send their wards to go and buy the drug. I've seen a neighbor's son whose father smokes like chimney. Even from the gate, you will perceive the odor of cigarettes. So as this boy was growing up, he will pick the butt of the cigarette that the father threw away, and he will sit and cross his leg, just the same way the father sits like a big man to smoke. So the boy will sit and cross his leg and start imitating the father. And that was how he started smoking and eventually started smoking cannabis, entered school, and he was rusticated because of drugs. So you can see how parents' attitude can also influence their children. Domestic violence, victims of emotional and physical and sexual abuse, that can predispose them to also use drugs. Then some take drugs to enhance performance. They want to outwit their competitors, so they take drugs in order to enhance performance. And most times in the university, it's not because they are taking the drugs because of sporting competitions. Rather, they want to be able to meet up with the requirements of the opposite sex. So they take these drugs in order to do certain things that they wouldn't be able to do ordinarily, and that can cause serious trouble for them. To improve mood, to control compulsive urge and craving. By the time you use drug and the craving starts coming, of course, the tendency for you to use more and to even look for more potent drugs. That's why they say that the use of certain drugs can make one to use a more potent drug because the craving will start coming in and the body will become tolerant and you keep seeking for more potent drugs. Poor social skills, stress from relationship, finances, work, medical illness and other stressors, poor attachment to school. You find somebody who started school very well, good academic grades. At a certain time, he starts following bad friends, then he starts doing badly. The next thing is for him to use drug to be able to forget his problems. And by the time he used the drug, he forgets the problem for that period of time. After some time, he realizes that the problem is still there. He will use another one, but the problem is there waiting for him. It's not a solution. Drug use is not a solution to any problem. Initiation to drug use. We have mentioned the predisposing factors to drug use. When an individual is susceptible to those drugs, then there are other certain factors within the community. Please let them see that diagram. There are certain factors that the person will be exposed to within the community, which is called environmental factors. Some of the factors are the ones we have mentioned, like availability, like parental subculture, and so on. When those factors interact with that individual, is either he starts using drug, or he does not use, or he uses intermittently. He may not be a regular user, and he may become dependent as a result of drug use. Consequences of drugs use. Drug borders on the physical, social, and psychological levels of the individual and the community. I said it earlier. Drug affects the central nervous system. It destroys the major organs of the system. It damages the immune system. It causes excessive heartbeat. It damages the unborn babies and can cause premature death. Socially, drug can cause a lot of problems. Go ahead. Okay, this is a drug abuser's teeth. This is the teeth of somebody who is using methamphetamine. You can see how the gums and even the teeth have been chopped. So you can imagine what it does to the major or the central nervous system, the liver, the brain, and the other organs of the body. This is the normal and damaged lungs of a drug user. This is a drug user after some years of use. Look at that woman using drug for only 5 years and 3 months. See the extent of change that has taken place physically. You can see how old she's looking just after using the drugs for 3 years. And the other man, look at him looking like as if he's 60, 70, whereas he's a very young man. The social effects. Drug abuse brings about dependency. Many young people are on drug now. And unfortunately, we do not have, even when we have treatment centers, they are not affordable, they are not cheap. And it brings about increase in crime rates. You can see what is happening in our society. Has anybody ever thought of why are there so much crime in society now? It's as a result of drug. If you see the NDLEA data, the quantum of drug that is being seized every day, and yet people still traffic in drugs. They never stop. And with the kind of crimes that is everywhere, things I've never heard of before are so rampant now. If you open the social media, is either you hear that they hacked this one to death, they raped this person, they cut his neck, they do money ritual, Yahoo, all those things. Banditry, kidnapping, so many things. Those are just the consequences of drug use. Somebody who is in his normal sense will not want to butcher a human being. Stand there, cut off the leg, cut off the neck, cut off the parts, cut off everything. And he doesn't feel any remorse, nothing. Doesn't feel anything. If he's not on drug, he wouldn't have been able to do all those things. It brings about social problems like truancy, destitution, prostitution, family disintegration. It brings about increase in the number of persons with mental illness, and it brings about low productivity, loss of job. Nobody who uses drug keeps his job. He might keep it for a certain number of years, but not as long as for some, not in comparison with somebody who doesn't use drug. He would definitely lose that job because one truancy will come in, misbehavior will come in, he will not obey constituted authority, he will start having issue with law enforcement, and then eventually he must lose his job. It brings about accidents on our roads, on our homes and workplaces. Psychologically, it causes sleeplessness, anxiety, depression, psychosis, which is a stage of madness, disorder of thinking, illusion, hallucinations, withdrawal symptoms, and premature death. Economic effects. The labor force is threatened. Like now, the labor force of Nigeria is between 15 and 35 years. And that is the year that are so much involved in drug use in this country. So the labor force of Nigeria is under threat. Industrial losses, because those on drugs may not be able to operate machines and some other things. And they keep making things difficult for the company, either destroying machines or not knowing how to operate machines or doing certain things that will cost the company money to repair or to replace. Loss of job. It creates an environment that is not conducive for investment. How many big companies, you can imagine the kind of the big companies in Nigeria that had left Nigeria for Ghana because of problems that we have in this country. And they're not thinking of coming back. When they hear of kidnapping, banditry, communal crisis, killings, Yahoo, all sorts of, social vices that are so rampant in our country. It retards economic growth. It causes extra budgetary spending because money is spent. Drug prevention is very, very costly. Drug control, either whether supply reduction or demand reduction, all are very, very costly. So it costs the government so much money to be able to reduce drug use and trafficking in the country. Drug abuse also brings about poverty, because the person on drug will always spend money on on drug use, instead of spending money on the needs of his personal needs and other needs of members of the family. So it brings about poverty because he earns money, but he will spend the money on drugs and he won't have money to do other things or to cater for his other needs. Signs and symptoms of drugs. That's drug paraphernalia. When you are looking out for somebody who is using drugs and you see drug paraphernalia, there is a tendency that the person is using drugs. I won't talk much of this, but I will just tell you one story. When I was in the secondary school, my cousin came from University of Ife. He was studying pharmacy in his final year. So I was watching TV in the sitting room, and I wanted to carry, normally because of TV, I will go and carry my camp bed, and I will spread it in the sitting room. I will lie down, then I'll be watching television. So at a point, and I said, let me enter the room and pick something. As I entered the room, he was sitting down on the bed, wrapping something. And at that time, I had an idea of what cannabis was all about. Of course, then we call it Indian hemp now. So I saw him, and even the reaction, the way he reacted, I knew that he was doing something very, very bad. Then the next morning, I called my father. He was a policeman. And I said, Daddy, I saw Brother Dom doing something. He said, what did you see him doing? I said, I saw him wrapping something, and I suspect it's Indian hemp. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. He said, okay, don't worry, that he will set him up and he will catch him. He never caught him, but he was rusticated from the university few months after that. Apparently, before then, he had committed a lot of atrocities in the university, even before he came home for holidays, as a result of drug use. So, drug paraphernalia, if he had done something at that point, if he had listened to what I saw, and he would probably act immediately, probably he would have saved him. But he wasn't able to save him because a few months after, he lost his job. So, if you see somebody with matchstick, if you see somebody with a matchbox in the room, and he's not in the kitchen, what will he be doing with a matchbox in his room? What is he doing with pieces and pieces of paper or lighter in his room? So that should call for your action. That should call for attention. And again, even as friends, if you see some certain paraphernalia with your friend, it's an indication that he's using drug. He may not have told you. He may have been hiding it from you at that point. So for you to have discovered, you are supposed to quickly withdraw. Nobody tells you to stand when you see, when somebody, my sister will tell me that it's only a madman or tree. It's only a tree that you will, if you tell a tree that I'm coming to kill you now, when you go and pick your cutlass and come back, the tree is there. Is that not true? He can't run away. But if you tell a human being that I will kill you and I'm coming to kill you, what will he do? He will run away, no doubt. So it's only a tree. So when you notice that your friend is on drugs, please, there is no need wasting your time. First of all, the first instinct, the first thing that I expect you to do is to withdraw from that friendship. Then you can now re-strategize on how to approach him. Because by that, you are equipping yourself with some willpower that will enable you to say no in case he decides to lure you into it. But if you don't say anything and it comes abruptly, probably he took you to somewhere that you didn't imagine, and some other friends are there. It's possible that they might force you to have a taste. I hope you understand. I hope you agree with me. Okay, thank you. So we go ahead with the signs and symptoms. Slogans on clothing, some kind of music. It doesn't necessarily mean that everybody listening to reggae music uses drug. But because they also have likings for reggae music, because they believe that the originator of reggae music was a cannabis user. So most of them who also use cannabis, they are also in love with reggae music. And then they also have memory lapses. If a child is beginning to have memory lapses, there is need for the parents to look inwards and see what is happening. and then indifferent to hygiene, grooming, low grades in school, a child that has been doing well, then if he becomes withdrawn and no longer assertive like he used to be, evasiveness, begins to change friends, begins to, like things about drugs. Sometimes he will want to have writings on clothing or say things about drugs and self-withdrawing from family and parents that used to be close to that child. Then there is need for one to look inward. Can you go forward? Slurred speech, incoherent speech, unhealthy appearance, indifference to hygiene, all those are signs and symptoms. Go ahead. Then, what is the role of students? Like I always say, students are the vulnerable group when you talk about drug subculture. And there is need for the students themselves to be actively involved in measures to reduce drug use within the student population, the youth population, and the entire community. And what can you do? First, in this university environment, is for you to join the WADA club. Join the club so that you be an ambassador of a drug-free university, of a drug-free community, a drug-free nation. We have seen the effects of drug. Drug does not respect anybody. It doesn't respect age. It doesn't respect social class. It does not respect religion. You cannot say, it's only Christians that use drug. And you cannot say, it's only Muslims that use drug. No. It doesn't respect religion. It doesn't respect social class. It doesn't have boundary. 80-year-old man can use drug. 5-year-old child can use drug. So that is why it is good for you to be an ambassador, for you to talk about drugs, for you to engage in activities that will, enrich other people, activities that will encourage other people not to use drug, for you to also report drug peddlers and drug users to appropriate authorities. When you report drug users, it doesn't mean that you are probably reporting them for punitive measures. No, you are reporting them so that they can be treated early, because early detection of drug use is better than when it has eaten deep into that individual. Also, encourage friends who have drug problems to also seek help. By the time each and every one of you help one drug user, then we would have reduced the number of drug users in the community. If you, like a club, like we talk about WADA Club, engage, be part of the activity, be very active in coming. It doesn't cost you anything. You can gather your friends once in a while together and say, let's talk about drugs. And you talk about drugs, say what you know about drugs. Somehow, somebody amongst you will learn something that will help him and will also have multiplier effect on others as he meets other people, either at home or in his community. Be a good role model, like I am. I'm not a drug user, and I'm ready to say it anywhere. I do not use drugs. I am an ambassador of drugs, and I'm proud to be one. So join me. Thank you for listening. Sorry. In case you have questions. I'm just tired. Can you please put your hands together again for Dr. Ngozi Madubuike? I know we have learned a lot this afternoon, so I'm just coming close to you because we need you. We need to get your feedback. That's very important. So questions, observations, and then more clarifications if you seek to know more. It's important that you understand every bit of this so that we'll know that we'll be successful in whatever we're doing. So please, questions, okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for the presentation. My name is Obande Daniel. I work at the University of Abuja International Center, and I'm also a psychologist by profession. I want to know what is NDLEA, provision for researches around drug abuse and substance use in the university.
Is NDLEA encouraging researches? Okay. Have they? Okay. I think the major thing is just NDLEA fund researches or is willing to partner.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Thank you for that question. Unfortunately, NDLEA is not a funding agency. Yes, NDLEA is not a funding agency. We do not fund any kind of program or research. But that is not to say that we cannot have partnership. We could work up a partnership to research on something. It's not far from it, you understand? But NDLEA funding researches in the university is not part of our purview at all. Yes, that I know.
But NDLEA can direct one to where to get funds, like maybe the United Nations bodies.
It's possible,
or something.
yes, we can. NDLEA can,
We
because
would
we
love
have
that.
very close collaboration with the United Nations Office for Drug Control.
Yeah.
And that was what I said, that it's possible for us to work up areas of partnership. And then we can seek our sponsors. We can talk to our sponsors. We have sponsors like the UN, the American Embassy, and so on, that could, like the United Nations Office on Drug Control, the National Drug Use Survey that was carried out in 2017, was on behalf of NDLEA, but was sponsored by the European Union and carried out by United Nations Office for Drug Control. But we do not fund researches. That's the truth. We do not fund researches.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. If you are very fast, so you may need to walk down the stairs a bit. Okay, tell us your name, actually. Go ahead, tell us your name, your department.
I am Justice Ongaji Nalegu, Faculty of Law. I want to ask a question. Ma, what help does taking alcohol does to the body? Does taking of alcohol have any good effects on the body as a human? I want to know. If yes, then that is what is encouraging taking of drugs, because there is no child born into any family that will grow up and know what tramadol is all about and know what codeine is all about. They start all this from taking of little gym and others. And if at all it does not have any good effect on the body, taking in of alcohol, if it does not have any good effect on the body, then I suggest the government should think of a way possibly to regulate production of alcohol to reduce taking of drugs in the society. Thank you.
Great. Please clap for that great question and observation. Alcohol is linked to drugs. Okay, ma'am.
Yes, you have said it. You said it all. There is no alcohol is a gateway drug. That's what you're trying to say, because the tendency that somebody who is on alcohol will use another drug that is more potent than alcohol is there. But because alcohol is a mild stimulant or mild depressant, for those who are using it, it does not add any value, anything. It's just that when they take it, they have a kind of feeling that that it's pleasant, that is pleasant to them. It's not as if it does anything, it doesn't cure anything, it doesn't add any value. For those who doesn't take alcohol, they do not feel anything, they don't lack anything. So that means alcohol does not really add anything. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. If somebody who doesn't take it doesn't lose anything, in fact, doesn't add anything to him, then that means that alcohol does not really add anything, except that some people, when they take it, they tell you that they have some pleasant feelings, some pleasant maybe enjoyment or something that they call it, and they enjoy it. But that is not to say that alcohol adds any value to anybody. That notwithstanding about government, because all over the world, alcohol is socially acceptable. Because nobody forces you to actually take alcohol, but it's just that if you are an adult and you take it, the society will not frown at it. And that is why the government has put in some restrictions
as to who sells, who buys, who produces, and at what time do you buy, or at what time do you even use alcohol. For example, as we are in this place now, you are not expected to use alcohol. If you use alcohol here, even the university authority will frown at it. But if they see you at the Mami market or wherever, taking a bottle of beer, even the VC will see you and pass and not say anything and said, okay, you are an adult. It's allowed. Society allows it. So for now, the government has not placed any kind of control on alcohol, but there are restrictions surrounding the sale, the age at which you buy, the age at which you use, the places where it can be used and places where it can be sold.
Wow. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. I would say I want to ask a question. My name is Habib Abdullah from Department of Guidance and Counseling. It is obvious that most of the agencies, especially the forces and even the NDLEA, is a kind of force that is not actually, the awareness is not as wide as possible. And we notice that in most of the recruitment, the youths are only being enlightened, and if not for this opportunity that you came up to involve the youths here, we tend to see that in the agencies, you hardly find vibrant youths who are intelligent enough to carry out this war and this fight. Like in the NDLEA, the youths are there who are ready to walk out to join this fight, and they are also associating with their fellow members, and they are in good positions to know and figure out these drug users more. So what will this club, WADA club, going to do about how we can manage to recruit the youths into the NDLEA force to also help fight and combat the use of drugs? Thank you, ma'am.
I like that question because we are beginning to think about your graduation and getting a job. Yes. Yes, I like that. You are very ambitious, and it's allowed, my dear. This is an opportunity. You are in the WADA club. So the NDLEA is open to, NDLEA employs everyone. NDLEA does not discriminate when we are employing. But we have age limits, so we employ the youths. I didn't start like this. I joined NDLEA at the age of, I think, 22, 23. And that was my youth. And I've spent about 30 years in the job. So I'm about to pull out while other youths will be employed. So the only thing I will say is that I wouldn't tell you that NDLEA will employ you on the basis that you are a member of the club. Do you understand? But I want to tell you that NDLEA will employ you if you meet up the prerequisite requirements, whether you are a member or not, as long as you do not use drugs. As long as you do not use drugs.
Is there preference to WADA members?
Not yet, but that may come.
We'll work on it.
And you saw my chairman here, you didn't ask him that question. He would have been in a better position to answer that question because he is the chairman, chief executive of NDLEA. But I will take your question back to him. You never can tell. Yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Permit me to start on the existing protocol that has been well and duly observed. My name is David Julius Temitokwe, a student of guidance and counseling. And my question goes thus. Ma, there is a saying that says, for every action, there must be a reaction. And as you have said earlier, that it is no longer a fight, it is now a war. Now, my question is, what is our confidence as a fellow comrade? Because when we are into this, it means we are into the fight against drug abusers. Drug abuse, in other words, we have to challenge and we have to face drug abusers. Now, when the saying comes in by saying that for every action there is a certain reaction, when the saying comes, what is our confidence and what is our stronghold that we are fully protected and we are fully secured when these people try to wage war against us and to harm us or to do such that is evil unto us, ma'am?
Come, don't go. Wait. I want you to stand. Because I want to make some clarification. In fact, that's why this interactive section is very, very necessary. Nobody's asking you to go and fight a drug user.
In fact, you don't need to fight them. You understand? You don't need to fight any drug user. What we are saying is that we do not want you to join them. We do not want you to become one. But you can also extend your hand of help to a drug user by supporting him. Because drug use is a health issue. They need help. There is no drug user that wants to continue using drugs. I've not come across one. They all want to stop. But the ability to stop is what is the problem. That is the problem. They want to stop. If you ask them, he will tell you, I want to stop. But the next minute, he's taking the drug. It's not his will. It's not his wish to want to take that drug. But because there is that craving that goes with drug use. So when that craving comes, he forgets the fact that he even wanted to stop. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So what you do is you don't need to fight them. You don't have to fight a drug user. But we are saying you need to also well equipped to be sure that you can be lured. So that when you meet a drug user, it is your world against him, not he is against yours. Not him luring you to use drugs, but you helping him to stop using drugs. Do you understand? And you can't help him stop using drugs by fighting him. If you fight him, you will lose him. You will lose him. You will never have him to your side. But if you support him, show him love, talk to him, tell him why he will need to go for treatment. This is the consequences. Let him have an insight into his problem. And let him know the problems that drugs are causing him. And he will start having reflections on how to stop. What do I do? Don't be surprised that one day he will not ask you, so what do I do to stop? You do not need to fight a drug user. Okay? Thank you very much.
The fight is not physical.
It's not physical.
Intellectual, psychological, social, not physical at all. You have an addition to the question? Chai, the question brought another question. Okay, very short.
If that is the case, ma, because you said one of the ways that we can help is to report such people.
Drug dealers.
Yeah, am I correct, ma?
Yes.
So now, in the process of reporting them, of course, you should expect them not to be happy with it. They should come in to retaliate. Now, my question still is, what is your own protective measure that we are having, that we can stand upon to say we cannot be hurt?
No, when you are reporting a drug user, do you have to let him know that you are reporting him? You do it discreetly. That's your own weapon. That's your shield. Your shield, first, is to protect yourself. You cannot expose yourself to the fact that you are reporting him. If you see, even as I am, an NDLE officer, if I see people doing drugs, I cannot be open in reporting them. It's risky for me, not to talk of you. Do you understand? And for everybody, you can see the security that is surrounding my chairman. Fighting drug is not an easy thing. I mean the dealers. So when you want to report, you have to do that very, very discreetly. You don't have to say, I am the one who reported. No, even when you do, you will make sure that you shut your mouth. And you will be very sure of who you are reporting to, so that the person does not also expose you. For example, you can send a mail to NDLEA to say that you are aware that drug dealing is happening in so area. Leave it. It is their duty to now place surveillance and then get the full detail of what is happening in that place. You don't have to put your name. You don't have to say, I am so, or say it for somebody to know.
Exactly. Yeah. I was also thinking, you don't have to wear these caps also, moving around and telling everyone,
no,
I am the drug lord in this university. If I see you holding the drug, you're in trouble. I thought the center would maybe later. Okay. The club will get more information from the center on such issues, yes. Okay, okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Abdulhafiz. I'm a third year medical student. So I was actually thinking about what he was saying about the reporting of drug peddlers, because there are some drug peddlers in the university, and sometimes you might come across them in your rooms coming to deliver, parcels of drugs to people, and sometimes even at some places, some people sell drugs. So my own suggestion to the WADA Club is that they should collaborate with the security units of the school and should have a platform that will be recognized by the school for reporting anonymously. Because sometimes when you send mails, you can be tracked, maybe your names and stuff can be there. So there should be a platform where everybody can report anonymously. And then the security unit is going to take action. The security is going to set a surveillance team or something. It's going to take action about that. Because I've actually seen a case of somebody like peddling drugs in the hostels, and there should be a platform to report that. And I think you can work with the security unit to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great. Then I will also suggest that you lay emphasis more on sensitization and enlightenment. Okay? You are young people. Just place more emphasis on sensitization, enlightenment, awareness creation. Forget about reporting. Okay? That will take care of himself. There is nobody who does drugs that will not be caught one day or the other. Impossible. Even if you don't catch him today, we'll catch him tomorrow. So, just base your actions now, your responsibilities, your activities on reducing the demand for drugs. It has its own multiplier effect. 50 of you should say that you want to target this university and you want to be the ambassadors that you are by not using drugs and by disseminating messages, anti-drug messages, and talking to people who may be disposed to using drugs. You will find out that it will have its own multiplier effect. Don't know bother about peddlers and dealers. I want to save you from that responsibility. So that you don't have that fear, or you don't put yourself in danger. I think that's better. So don't be afraid. It's a campaign. Enlightenment, sensitization,
Those ones
and so on. Okay, the last person. Is there somebody else? Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Abdulaziz Abdulkadir Olamileka. I'm from the Department of Guidance and Counseling. Ma'am, in a case where you have a friend who is into drugs and you want to help this person out sincerely, but meanwhile in counseling we were taught that a client or your client must be willing to open up before you help. Now this your friend is not willing to let you in, but you seriously want to help him, knowing that he was someone different before coming. And maybe along the line, he gets to join one of the bad gangs and he becomes a drug peddler. How do you go about such a case without hurting his feelings or pushing him further away? That's my question.
He's your friend and should remain your friend. Abby? So the best you can do is you keep talking to him to accept to go for treatment. That's the best you can do. You cannot do anything other than that. You keep talking to him from time to time if you must remain your friend. But if you know that it's possible that you may go his own way, the best thing is to disassociate yourself from that friendship. But if you must remain your friend, then you keep talking to him, because even in treatment, the best practice, the global best practice is that the person must be willing. And that's what works. When the person is willing, when you talk the person to be willing, he may not be willing at first, but you can, with time, talk the person to accept. And if he accepts, it works better than when you force that person to go for treatment. That's what research has shown. So if he's your friend and you still want him to remain your friend, and you're sure that you won't be forced to, you won't be pressurized to follow his way, then you need to keep talking to him or refer him to a professional counselor. Ask him to see a counselor.
beg him, talk him to see a counselor, a professional counselor. They will help him. With motivational interview and so on, he might accept to go for treatment. But that's all he needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your brilliant presentation. You just said what I wanted to say, part of what I wanted to say, that if it's beyond you, in talking to your friends, you can refer them to our site.
Yes.
We have counseling center.
Oh.
Yes, really, there is not so much you may be able to really do at your level. You know, if you encounter anyone who is willing to desist from the use of drugs, you may not be able to do so much, but you will do well if you can refer them to the counseling site. Yeah. Thank you very much. And then I wanted to say something about what that other young chap said. I want to talk about the approach. When encountering them, be careful about the approach. Yeah. It's very important that you approach them with that kind of mentality of care. You want to care for them. You care for them. You care about them. That's why you are even involved in the first place. So the approach matters a lot, so that it doesn't boomerang, it doesn't turn against you. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. And then I want to also just give a word of encouragement, both to the users of drugs. Hopefully we don't have anyone here, but you may have friends. To some of the friends of drug users you may know. There is something I think I learned, or I got to know about some youths. Sometimes some friends of drug users leverage on their use of drugs. What do I mean by that? By that I mean sometimes they know that when their friends are under the influence of those drugs, they can get things, yes, take advantage of them and get things from them. So they encourage them, support them in the use of drugs. So when they know they are now under that influence, they begin to make demands on them. And because they are not in their right senses at that moment, they begin to meet their demands and things like that. It's very wrong. It's a word of encouragement to us. Please, if you are doing that, kindly desist from it because of God. And for those who may be involved in drug use, please know that there are a lot of things you stand to suffer and lose. So please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I want us to hear from a girl, just one, from the Wada Club. All the ladies. You can't just keep quiet like this and consume everything we've given you. You just keep quiet and be going like that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Say anything. Comment, observation, question. For instance, do you know exactly what you're going to, you're supposed to, as soon as you get up from here, what you're supposed to do, your responsibilities, your commitment? Thank you. On behalf of the ladies. Ladies, clap for her.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'll start creating awareness for my fellow youth.
She'll start creating awareness. That's a good start. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ngozi Madubuike. This has been so enriching and enlightening. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we are gradually getting to the end of our program today. It's really been so enlightening and enriching. And I hope we're all glad to be part of this. There's an exhibition outside. It's truly something you need to see. So please, as soon as we are done from here, everybody just steps outside and see everything. There are so many interesting things that are exhibited. I assure you would want to see them. How many people have seen cocaine before? You have. What did you do with it? Okay, talk to me. You say you saw it where? In the movie? Okay, outside. Okay, that's the only time you've seen. I was just kidding. No, you of course you need to see so that when you see it, you really know that this is cocaine. All right, we'll have a vote of thanks now from the Deputy Director, Counseling and Career Services Center, Dr. Usman. Can you please come for the vote of thanks? Thank you so much. Put your hands together some more. Thank him. I know all of you are clapping very well, Dr. Usman.
On behalf of the Director of the Counseling Center, the staff of the center, I want to say a very big thank you to all of us here seated. The guest lecturer, man, to me, as if you not end your lecture. We wish you to have continued to talk and talk and talk to us, but time is on our side. In fact, the program is enriching, inspiring, educative, and challenging. To all of us here seated, myself in particular, have been challenged. As a counselor, I'm thinking, how do I go about it and help people out there to get out of drug? But for us that are in WADA, I would like you to collaborate with the counseling center. In case you have a challenge, in case you are confused on what to do, always visit the center. And for some of us that are seated here, guests, visitors, co-members, ambassadors, we wish you to partner with the counseling center so as to assist ourselves and assist those out there in order to get out of drug and we'll have a free drug university. We want to thank in particular the NDLA staff that are patiently here. Since yesterday, you have been working and helping out in the awareness so as to have a successful program. We thank the DJ, we thank our able MC who pioneered the affairs. We thank all of you. In fact, we cannot thank you enough for gracing the occasion and making it a huge success. And we pray unto God Almighty to grant us journey mercy safe to our destination. In Jesus' name. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Usman. Thank you so much, everyone. Please, we'll invite you again when we hold our subsequent program. So please always be ready to be part of what we're doing. Thank you so much for coming, and do have a pleasant day. Okay, we are ending also with the national anthem. Can we please rise up and sing the national anthem? Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.